Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's Saturday, Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's every day, everybody. You know, buy those spets of roses. 30% of your roses come from this country. That's more than that. It's close to 70% of the roses in the United States come out of Colombia and Ecuador. So, have fun. Trump doesn't know what a rose is, so I'm not worried about that. What was I going to say? The thing I was reading about this morning, watching a couple of videos on it too, is going back to this. I'll give you an example. This one guy writes the story, puts up a post that says, all we have to do is hold out for 3 years, and then all these people are going to go to jail and everything like that, and that's not the way it's going to work. All right, you go back to the meeting in Europe today, and you hear Rubio, and then I forget the other gentleman. I think he was from England, talking about it and saying that there is a new world order. The old world order is gone. Well, that's part of the problem, folks. This is what people don't understand. You're looking at one man. You're looking at Donald Trump. And you're saying, well, let's get rid of Donald Trump and everything will be Humpty Dumpty. No, it won't. You still got schmucks in there. I don't care if you get rid of J.D. Vance. You think Roberts is going to be any better? You think any of these... You'd have to change the entire... membership of the Senate. You'd have to get rid of them all. Then you have to get rid of these people that are speaking on the outside. These influencers like Stephen Miller and whatnot, and then the people that are on the internet, people like me, that are fascists, that are influencing people. And then you have to condition Americans to accept the truth for what it is, the truth. And people don't do that. People don't accept the truth anymore because of all the AI and artificial intelligence. And that's the other thing. You're going to have to put serious controls on that if you want to go back to the way things were. And I don't want to necessarily say things have to go back to the way they were. I think immigration has to be done in a different way, but I don't believe that massive immigration is a solution to anything. All right? How are you going to reduce prices? Well, we have a problem in this world, and nobody understands that. I think it's one of the Icelandic countries is looking at to say that they're going to reduce their population to 10 million people. Well, that's the way it has to be, and nobody understands that. Nobody except this country, apparently. If you want to feed your population, if you want to be able to survive, you have to limit population growth, not increase population growth. My apologies to the Pope. But I'd be using every kind of contraceptive known to mankind, and I would be making it almost like getting vaccines in some cases. Because we're running out of food, we've already reached emergency levels in water, and they're not going to be replenished anytime soon. The climate change affects the amount of fresh water that's available. Trump doesn't believe that. Trump is one of these people that believes that if you have money, there's an infinite supply. He'll be able to buy everything he needs for as long as he lives, or longer, so long as he's rich and powerful. That's not the way it's going to work. Yes, the rich and powerful are going to last a little bit longer than the rest of us, maybe, but not for real, not real long, not much further. The way it looks right now, that the first you want to call them food wars or water wars, are going to start within 5 to 10 years, probably closer to 5 years from now, where cities, states, individuals are going to be fighting for water and for food. All right, because without water you don't have food. It's like without the bees you don't have anything. All right. Now, the biggest mistake we're probably going to make is we're going to put artificial intelligence in charge of this, and say that artificial intelligence needs to protect the planet. And as soon as you do that, the human race is doomed. Because everybody knows that the greatest enemy to this planet is the human race. It's not some bullshit little story. It's always been true. We are the most self-destructive and destructive race on this planet. I'll give you an example of something. Most of you probably know this. Do you know the animals they kill for sport? There's two. Man and sharks. That's it. Alright? They kill for sport. In the human race, that's how they get rid of people. It's the history of the human race. You know, that's how they've been able to survive as long as this planet has been able to survive as long as it has, is because it purges humans every so often. Through war and through disease, famine, whatever. It's the only way this planet's been able to survive. That makes you think like this is some sort of sci-fi thing we're dealing with, and the planet is actually a living, breathing intelligence. And maybe it is, I don't know, I'm not going to go that far. But I do know plants can communicate, plants talk to each other, plants can be appeased with music and whatnot. So, who knows, you know? I just know that you know, I don't even know why I bother talking about it, because I doubt very seriously it's going to have any effect on me. You know, my ashes are going to end up in space when the planet blows up, but that's alright. You know, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to be around to care. Alright? I care because I have young grandkids and whatnot that I would like to see experience life somewhat, you know. And they have the right attitude about them, but the problem is society is different. Right now society is trying to develop more and more technology that they can control. And the thing about technology, and people have said this from the beginning, is you're going to reach a point where you can't control it, and it starts to control you. And a lot of that's happening already. Look at the people walking down the street with their cell phones. 20 years ago? Yeah, I guess 20 years, maybe a bit longer. You'd walk down the street and you'd never see people like this with their cell phone in their hand. You know, I mean, you know, going down the street and walking and talking and doing business and everything else. No. That wasn't done. You know, you didn't get calls on the way to work to solve problems, you know. You didn't walk into work already stressed out because your boss has been calling on your cell phone for the last 3 hours, you know. It's we're very, very, very dependent upon technology. There are the older generation. If you take this stuff away from us, we can still survive. You know, we know how to communicate. You would develop neighborhoods again. Instead of having followers, you'd have neighbors. You know, and neighborhoods. It's not hard to reestablish that. It's just that you're going to have a lot of people that are going to lose their friggin' minds because they haven't got a cell phone, they don't have a computer, you know. They don't know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to create, you know, with magic markers and pencils and pens, and, you know, they don't even know how to whittle or carve or any of that stuff, right? So they would die. They're going to suffer until other people, older people, the older generation starts to teach the younger generation. The older generation didn't. The older generation always promised that things would be better in the future, and that's not the way it is. It's definitely never going to happen that way. All right. Look what the future gave us, Donald Trump. That's the older generation. That's my generation that did this. They gave you Donald Trump. All right. And he's one man, and it's complete. He's not one man. He is an idea, fascism, if you will. May not fit the exact definition of the word, but that's what's going on. So removing him isn't going to solve the problem. People are using World War II mentality. If we get rid of Hitler, everything will be fine again. That's not necessarily so. Hitler had a lot of people in charge of some very bad things. You know, and Trump has people running some very bad programs that they're not going to walk away from if they don't have, unless you're forced into it. So I don't see a walking in and saying you're fired, you know, after Trump is gone is going to solve anybody's problems. I think it's necessary that we think differently. You have to think on a larger scale. And you have to stop thinking the way you're thinking. And you have to take care of the rest of the planet. You have to take care of the planet, the climate and whatnot. And that doesn't mean turn it over. Like I said, don't turn it over to artificial intelligence. Because artificial intelligence thinks in black and white. And eventually, artificial intelligence will not be controllable. And then when that happens, you'll start to see things like what you saw in the Terminator movies, and other movies of that sort, where the machines rise up against the humans, because the machines realize that humans are a danger to their survival. Not only do they maintain them, but they also are a danger to their survival. That's, you know, the strange, complex thought process that's out there. But I'm tired of these people saying we have to get rid of Trump. Trump's got 3 years left. Trump is dead. He's basically what they call a lame duck president right now. Can he try and do some things? Yes. Will they go into effect right away? No. Will they be able to be gotten rid of by the next president? Yes. Well, who's the next president going to be? Who's the next party in control? Where are the true thinkers in this process? Okay, that understand that this is not one man; it's a party, a political organization that is now stretching across various continents. It's much fascism now is much different than it was during World War II and Hitler. You know. Because it's not advancing by violence. It's advancing by political opinion. Alright? Okay. That's it for me. It's Saturday. It's Valentine's Day. Go get laid, guys. You know? Or get engaged or whatever you do these days. I've always thought that getting engaged on Valentine's Day is not really a good idea. There's just so many other influences at this time of year on your opinions of people and whatnot, you know, and how people think about things. You know, get engaged when you feel the movement. You know, you're sure. You know, don't do it because it's a day to do it. You know, and well, everybody's getting engaged. When your name is everybody, then worry about it. If your name isn't everybody, then don't worry about it. It's like Valentine's Day is like New Year's Eve, I'm going to go with New Year's Eve. The pressure on New Year's Eve to have a good time is out of this world. You know, to throw the best various other influences, like to throw the best party, to have the best dinner, cook the best meal, whatever. That's pressure. Valentine's Day is the same way. Make it the most romantic night you could possibly can. All right, but you know, keep the ring in your pocket for a while. Things like that, you know. I mean, if you're really 100% sure, well, go ahead, but don't succumb to the pressure that in order to keep this relationship going, there has to be some sort of formal commitment, you know. If it's meant to, my mom always told me, if it's meant to be, it'll happen, you know. Of course, she picked the wrong one. She was right, but she had the wrong girl in mind at the time, so, you know. Alright, listen up. Hit the subscribe button. I won't be here tomorrow. I'm going to relax. We're going to do some things, you know. Probably, I got to take pictures of my grandson in his new school uniform, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. In the meantime, everybody, have yourselves one great weekend, and I'll see you Monday morning. Or I'll see you later with the live video, but then again, I'll see you Monday morning. Alright? Take care, everybody.